Well, hi YouTubers, hi, I'm back with a 6 month 60 books, and it is Once in a Lifetime by Chrissie Manby. Now, Chrissie Manby is an author who I've never been disappointed with any of her books. She's written about 24, 25. I've read most of them. The Proper Families, I haven't actually read those. But, so I've read A Proper Family Christmas, okay. And she's really, really nice. I've actually met her. Oh, this is so funny. I was at college when she published her first book, and that was Flatmates. You actually got it free with a magazine. I forget the magazine, okay? So I was working, and I left it in my work's kitchen, as you do, by accident. Every person, I think, borrowed that book before I got it back. I didn't get it back for months. And my cousin was like, oh, this looks interesting, borrowed it. I was like, oh, do you need that book? I picked it up, you know? So, yeah. Flatmates is a really, really good book, especially for a first novel. So anyway, I read the blurb. Danny Parker had grand plans for her life, but that was 22 years ago. Now she's a single mother living in the quaint seaside town of Newbay, to working at the hotel where she got her first ever job. When she bumps into her ex-boyfriend, Nat, Danny wonders if this might be the start of something new, or something not quite new. But that's before she meets his fiancée. Danny's 16-year-old daughter, Flossie, so she knows best about everything, of course, and her new boyfriend, Jed, is everything she could ever want in a man. Right? Flossie's grandmother, Jane, a widow of 15 years, firmly believes that lightning never strikes twice. So when she finds herself visiting Bill's pet shop a little more often than necessary, she feels to believe the L word has anything to do with it. A whirlwind of cakes, elopements, and more naughty puppies, and they can handle, will the three women discover that once in a lifetime isn't quite rare as they thought. Now, one thing I like about this book is it's relatively drama-free. There's drama and there's tension, but this is such a realistic story. This is a really, really realistic story. So I think a lot of people can identify this. One thing I like is about Chrissie Manby is her evolution as an author, because her first book was called Flatmates, about flatmates, but as she's got older she's progressed to the more mature stuff, as a lot of authors do. She hasn't just stayed in one kind of zone. She's moved forward. Here you go. This is chapter 4, okay. Nat Hayward. They knew who Nat Hayward was long before they ended up on the same waiting team at the Majestic Hotel. He went to the boy's grandma, that was the brother school to the girls' high school Danny attended. From time to time, the two schools joined forces to put on musical extravaganzas that acquired both of the sexes. So after male attention, Danny signed up for one. In the winter of 1995, when GCSEs still seemed 100 years away, Danny was in the course of a production of the HMS Pinafore. That was in a joint school, strapifying the music. She noticed him at once and kept on noticing him. He looked so cool despite his slightly too small sixth-form blazer and prefix tie. Danny missed her cue a couple of times because their attention wandered from the action on stage to the orchestra pit. Now, one thing I like is this. That one little bit sets up not just Danny, but Flossie. Because Flossie and her mum, it's quite funny how a girl looks back on her first teenage love and then describes, in the same chapter, her daughter's teenage love. Jed is, oh god, Jed, I'm going to describe Jed, okay? This one sentence surmises Jed. On first impressions, Jed was pretty much what Danny had expected. He was what she would have called a crusty back in the 90s. If Flossie looked as though she'd been jumped straight at the laundry bin in her crumbled, dingy eco clothes, Jed looked as though he'd just exclusively from wheelie bins. Dripsy's jeans were less artful than awful. His oversized sweater was shining with grease at the cuffs and the collar. His hair was matted. He basically looked as though he could do with a good wash. That's detergents one of the things Jed disagreed with. Over tea and cake in Danny's kitchen, Jed held forth. He was passionate. Jed held forth. He's passionate about animal welfare, human rights, living a green life. But while his ideologies were sound, the way he delivered them was a little self-important. Danny couldn't help but feel her own, especially when he tried to tell her by stuffing herself a hermit toy sponge. There was a crime against future generations to use anything except ancestral grains. What do you mean by ancestral? Danny asked. Spelt quinoa. Makes terrible sponge quinoa, Danny said. After their first meeting, Danny would have been quite happy to see the back of Jed right away. How could she veto him on the grounds of being pompous? He comes from a really nice family, Flossie assured. His dad is a lawyer and his mum's a doctor. Danny was ashamed to admit these facts. Helped to put her mind at rest. If he had a lawyer for a dad, his mum was a doctor, how bad could he be? Yeah. So basically, Jed is the worst. He's the worst. I actually know people like this. I know people like this. I went to university and I was doing a master's with people like this. Okay? So, yes. So, Jed gets Flossie a dog. And she calls Jeremy Corbyn. And it's quite funny. It's quite funny when they talk about the politics that Jed really doesn't know shit. Okay? Jezza for sure. And of course, Flossie obviously does, you know, being a teenager, it becomes Danny's my point of view. Then, Lola, Nat's fiance, is also given a dog. Now, this is a difference, okay? Because Flossie, I didn't want to read that bit out because it was too funny, and I want everyone to read that bit for themselves. Flossie, when she gets the dog, and there was massive rows and arguments, and you ruined my birthday, you ruined my life, I'm a teenager, yeah, here you go. This is Lola. All eyes were onto the doors to the restaurant as one of the hotel porters used a large trolley to wheel in a large box that was covered in gold wrapping paper, finished with a huge pink ribbon. They get excited. It isn't another pony, said Lola's dad. Then what is it? Lola looked up from her seat with a seeming haste. Then it was reminded from Roald Dahl's Rude Assault as Lola scrambled to get the ribbon undone. Lola pushed aside the flaps that kept the box closed, and her eyes wide as she saw what was coming. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, thank you, Daddy, thank you, Mummy. It's the best present, best birthday present ever. But Danny should have guessed what was inside. The look on Lola's face was similar to the look on her daughter's face a few nights earlier. Lola reached into the box and lifted out a dog. I like maybe because I'm a dog lover, I've got Jenna. So, so dogs play a big part in this. It's a dog that kind of, because Nat and Danny wound up at obedience school, okay? And Nat and Danny go to obedience school together, okay? And they go for like a drink afterwards to kind of start to reconnect that way, okay? Jez, the dog, swallows an engagement ring, okay? Jane goes into a pet shop and kind of like meets the pet owner. The dogs, I think Jeremy Corbyn or Jezza, okay, is kind of like the guardian angel of this book. It was a bit cliche, but still. But one thing is this: it really also touches on what it's like to lose a loved one after so long. Because Jane is a widow of 15 years, as the book says, and this bit here that this bit here was really nicely written. Had Jane gone first, Tom would have had a clue how to look after himself. Of course, Jane would have wanted him to find someone who could step into her shoes, not take her place entirely, but keep him from being hungry or lonely and too sad. There wouldn't have been any shortage of contenders. Tom was always popular at the Newts, Newbury's Theatre Society, He was always in demand for the romantic roles. She wouldn't have minded if those romantic roles crossed over into her life as she had gone first. She never wanted him to be happy. But for herself, it was much harder to imagine the other way around. She didn't need a man to provide for her, or even to take the bins out. She'd been doing that for years. She had best company of her daughter and her granddaughter, and her best friend on the other side of the garden fence. A man couldn't make her life more complete, could he? There was no way that someone like Mr. Hunter from the pet shop could really be interested. He had carried her kibble because he was closing the shop for lunch anyway. I wanted to foster Jane's customer loyalty. Imagine you up for her to make small talk. He acknowledged her on the beach because he was polite, that was all. Jane traced a finger across her husband's face in the photograph that lived on her bedroom table. I wish you were here. Once in a lifetime was more than enough for her. That, it kind of said, because these three women, obviously, okay, you've got Flossie who's a teenager, and a dumb teenager at that, trying to figure out her life, okay, and what to do with it, and obviously the teenage angst to come with it. But the thing is, she's also I got the impression that, hey, it's all fun with her. She's also shy and vulnerable and not damaged, but just a little bit, also kind of a little bit lonely in some respects. So she kind of hooks up with Jed because she thinks that he has all the answers, he's so great, and he doesn't. Which kind of, I like her maturity throughout the book. Danny is obviously, Fossey's father wasn't fantastic, so she is quite vulnerable and nursing a broken heart in some respects. She never kind of moved on from that, and now she kind of gets a chance. Also, will she take the leap? Especially because it was also engaged. I'm not going to spoil anything. But Flossie's storyline touched me the most because is once in a lifetime enough? Is she just seeking companionship and friendship? Is it okay to move on after being married for so long? Yeah. So anyway, Once in a Lifetime by Chrissie Manby. What if Once in a Lifetime happened twice? I really, really enjoyed this book. Absolutely love Chrissie's work. So, and yeah, that's it. I just wanted to shout out to this book. I really enjoyed it. It's come back to the library today. So, since I've had it for like the last 4 months. And take care, YouTubers. Take care. This is the 6 month 60 books. And sign off.